Hey ladies, today is Genesis chapter 13. So in Genesis chapter 13, I was struck by Abrams' humbleness. It didn't say specifically that he was humble, but when you read through it, you can see that he acted humbly. And coincidentally, this morning I was not very humble myself. I ran around the house frustrated because things weren't done. And all I could think in my head was, why can't you do XYZ? Now I have to do XYZ. And anytime we think of now I have to, we're obviously thinking of ourselves and placing ourselves higher than someone else, and we're not supposed to do that. So here's the example of Abram in Genesis 13 and how he was humble. He and Lot traveled out of Egypt to Negev, then to Bethel, then they settled in the plains between Bethel and Ai. Lot also had animals and tents, and the herdsmen began to quarrel. So Abram went to Lot, and he said, "Please, let's not have quarreling between our herdsmen or between us. If you will go east, I will go west. If you will go west, I will go east." So Lot looked out over the plains of the Jordan as far as Zoar, and he saw that everything was well watered, like the Lord's garden and the land of Egypt. So Lot chose the entire plain of the Jordan for himself. Then Lot journeyed eastward, and they separated from each other. Abram lived in the land of Canaan, but Lot chose to live in the cities on the plain and set up his tent near Sodom. Now, Abram could have easily said, of course he chose that because it looks like the Lord's garden. Of course he chose that because it's better, and he's just being selfish. But he didn't. He just honored that Lot chose this. He gave Lot the option. Lot chose better for himself, and Abram honored it. And that was very humble on his part. Also, it reminds me of how in the Bible we're told that if we have a quarrel between us and someone else, that even if the quarrel didn't start with us, we're supposed to be the ones to humble ourselves and to finish the quarrel and to try to be at peace with everyone as much as we can. So that was a really good example of Abram showing humility and trying to be at peace with Lot and with Lot's herdsmen, and I appreciated that. So after Lot left, God went to Abram and said, "Look all around you, north, east, south, and west. I'm going to give you all of this land." And then he reminded him that he was going to make him a great nation and give him more offspring than the dust of the earth. And I find that very sweet that God continued to go back to Abram and remind him of his promise to him. And it reminds me of going to church on Sunday, because every Sunday we go to church and we hear the gospel preached, and we hear the story of Jesus and how he died on the cross for us, and how he shed his blood for us, and how he rose again the third day, that we who believe in him will live forever. And that's kind of our little regular reminder from the Lord of his promises towards us. So that was just sweet and special. Anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying this Bible study, and if you have any comments, please leave them below, and I'd love to hear from you. God bless you, ladies.